Over the past week, Israeli forces launched a series of strikes on various areas in the northern Gaza Strip. Several strikes hit satellite towns, resulting in no shortage of residential damage and casualties. In the capital of the Palestinian enclave, airstrikes were recorded almost all over the city. The attack on At-Tabayin school, which resulted in the deaths of more than 100 people, caused the greatest resonance. In the central part of the Gaza Strip, the Israelis shelled Hamas-controlled population centers. Nuseirat, Al-Brej, and Al-Mughraqa came under the most concentrated fire, killing several dozen people. In turn, Palestinian forces again shelled IDF positions in the Netzarim corridor. However, judging by the lack of reports of evacuation transports passing through, the strikes were not effective. In the south of the Palestinian enclave, Israeli forces announced a new evacuation of the population east of Khan Yunis. In this regard, the IDF command once again reduced the humanitarian zone. Later, the Israelis launched massive strikes both on the evacuation zone and neighboring areas of Khan Yunis. However, there was no start of IDF advance afterwards. Meanwhile, forces of the 98th Ha'esh Airborne Division continue to operate south of Khan Yunis. Israeli engineering equipment is working on the outskirts of Bani Suhail, Al-Qarara, and Al-Suraj. In the very south of the Gaza Strip, localized raids by Israeli forces continue in Rafah. During the week, members of the 106nd Armored Division Haplata carried out activities to destroy underground tunnels. In the West Bank, Israeli security forces conducted another series of operations in several localities. Since the beginning of the week, about 100 local residents accused of having links to Hamas have been detained in the region. The largest raid occurred in Tubas, in which the Israelis used drones. Clashes resulted in the elimination of 3 members of the local branch of Hamas's military wing. The exchange of strikes along the Lebanese-Israeli border continued, with no major escalation so far. Hezbollah fired several dozen rockets at IDF facilities, but most of the munitions were either intercepted or landed in vacant lots. Israeli forces fired en masse at various targets in southern Lebanon. Dozens of population centers came under fire, and the Israeli Air Force repeatedly entered the Lebanese airspace.